For over a decade, Hollywood had a very specific agreement with America about what a teenager was. They were awkward but lovable. They lived in massive suburban houses. Their biggest problems were prom dates, mean principals, and maybe, if things got really dark, a weekend of detention. This was the John Hughes era. It was polished, it was safe, it was honestly a hallucination. And then, in 1995, a 19-year-old skater from New York City threw a brick through that window. He didn't just write a movie, he drafted a declaration of war against the polished, sanitized image of American youth. His name was Harmony Korine, and he didn't just make Hollywood uncomfortable, he genuinely terrified them. This is the story of how a kid with a notebook forced the film industry to look at the ugly, nihilistic, and terrifying reality of a culture they had spent years ignoring. To understand the bomb, you have to understand where it was built. In the early 90s, New York City wasn't the playground for millionaires and thousandaires it is today. It was pre-Giuliani. It was dirty, dangerous, alive, and dirty. Harmony Korine wasn't a film school graduate schmoozing at parties. He was a 19-year-old who studied dramatic writing at NYU for about a semester before dropping out to sleep on rooftops and skate. He was an insider in a world that adults were scared of or just simply ignored. Enter Larry Clark, an established photographer famous for his controversial book Tulsa. Clark wanted to make a movie about the skaters he was photographing in the park, but he had a problem. He was a middle-aged man. He knew the visuals, but he didn't know the language. He needed a translator. He asked the skinny kid who was always talking about movies if he could write a screenplay. Harmony said yes. He claimed he wrote kids in a single week. Whether that's true or something made up by a young delinquent, it doesn't matter. What matters is what was on the page. When Hollywood executives read scripts about teenagers, they looked for arcs. They looked for lessons. They looked for redemption. Korine gave them Telly. Telly, the film's protagonist, isn't a rebel with a cause. He's a monster. A self-proclaimed virgin surgeon whose only goal in life is to sleep with virgins because they don't have diseases yet. A peculiar irony given the film's backdrop of the AIDS crisis. The script didn't judge Telly, it didn't offer a moral counterweight, it just followed him. Dialogue didn't sound like writers trying to sound cool, it sounded like the disjointed, repetitive, often meaningless chatter of real teenagers in a very real, very gritty city. Korine wrote characters that didn't exist in the Hollywood database or zeitgeist. Casper, the drug-addled nihilist. Jenny, the girl who realizes too late that she's in a horror movie. And crucially, these weren't played by actors from the Disney Channel. They were kids from the park. Chloe was an intern at Sassy Magazine. Rosario Dawson was discovered sitting on a porch. When you watch kids, you aren't watching a performance. You feel like you're watching surveillance footage, and that's exactly what made it feel so real and almost dangerous. When the film premiered, the reaction was physical. People walked out. Critics argued in the lobbies. This wasn't just a movie release, it was a cultural crime scene. The MPAA, the gatekeepers of Hollywood morality, slapped it with an NC-17 rating. This was a death sentence for box office returns. Miramax, owned by Disney at the time, was in a panic. They couldn't release this filth under the Mouse House banner. The Weinsteins, those Weinsteins, had to create a shell company, Shining Excalibur Films, just to get it into theaters. Think about that. The movie was so radioactive, they had to invent a fake studio to distribute it. The media dubbed it a wake-up call. They treated it like a documentary, asking, "Is this what your children are doing?" But Korine was laughing. He wasn't trying to teach America a lesson about safe sex or drug abuse. He was an anarchist, throwing a Molotov cocktail into the cinema. If kids traumatized the critics, Harmony Korine traumatized the celebrity machine. Hollywood wanted to celebrate the boy genius. They wanted to put him on the talk show circuit, have him tell all these funny anecdotes, and turn him into the next Quentin Tarantino. Harmony refused to play the game. His appearances on The Late Show with David Letterman are legendary, not because they went well, but because they were a collision of two different universes.
You know, I saw your film Gummo.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, wow, that's an interesting piece of work, that Gummo.
Thanks. Well, Gummo was the fifth Marx brother. But
Can you name all the Marx Brothers?
yeah, but well,
Let's go.
yeah, but Gummo quit because he liked to wear women's clothes.
Is that right?
Yeah, and he sold.
He quit the group. Gummo did.
Yeah, because he wanted to sell cardboard boxes. But the movie's not about him or nothing.
Letterman, the king of ironic detachment, didn't know what to do with someone who was so genuinely strange. It culminated in Korine eventually being banned from the show. The rumor, Letterman caught him backstage rummaging through Meryl Streep's purse. Whether he was looking for drugs, money, or just seeing what was in there, it didn't matter. It was the perfect metaphor. Harmony Korine wasn't there to shake hands with Meryl Streep. He was there to pick her pocket. He was the grime of the street infiltrating the VIP lounge. 30 years later, we are still living in the crater kids left behind. You can draw a straight line from Telly and Casper to Euphoria, Skins, and every gritty A24 drama about disaffected youth. Harmony Korine proved that you didn't need a happy ending. You didn't need moral clarity. You just needed the truth. Even if that truth was ugly, boring, and terrified of growing up. Hollywood eventually recovered. They went back to making superhero movies and safe reboots. But for a brief moment in 1995, a teenager forced the most powerful industry in the world to stare into the void. And for the first time in a long time, the void stared back.